Year 1 has started. For the Shiba Inu community, the development team has a ton of content prepared. We will thus talk about some of the exciting new projects that we might anticipate in the upcoming year in this video. If you watch the entire movie, you'll see that Shiba Inus haven't had a particularly horrible year in 2022. This year's cost has clearly fallen greatly if you take the time to reflect about it, despite increasing by a zero near the end of the year. The Shiba Inu game, whose release was initially announced back in November 2022, was one of several more events that both increased the value of Shiba Inu and solidified its position in the Shiba Inu market, with the passionate Shiba Inu neighborhood. But the game's creation didn't start until 2022. The Shiba Inu community knew they were in for a good gaming experience with these announcements, and the game's debut did not disappoint. We also learned that well-known game development studio PlaySide Studios would be working on the game's development in 2022, under the direction of seasoned game developer William Folk. The beta version of the game was highly received when it was first released in Vietnam. The game was released globally on October 7, 2020, commonly known as Download Day, and while it did well, it did so quickly enough to surpass expectations. It is reasonable to assume that her pregnancy was and has remained to be a success even outside of the crypto market as the most downloaded card games since its release. A Ship Eternity document that includes the game's lore, a player's guide, and a number of Easter eggs has also been released. The game has been updated to correct certain flaws that players have discovered. The metaverse is a new endeavor that was announced in 2021 but just started to be carried out in 2022. A Shiba Inu metaverse was going to be disclosed in January 2021, however the traditional name for the announcement was Shib. In 2022, after the first land sales, that name was changed to the one we currently use. It was declared in the start of 2022. A little over 100,000 land parcels would be made available for purchase and sold at 3 separate auctions. Phase 2, which ran for 7 days and was only open to people who had locked Lisa Shaba's zeniths, was preceded by Phase 3, which was open to the general public based on their proximity to the center in the metaverse. The first stage, which started on April 13th and lasted just 3 days, required bidding and was only accessible to people who had locked the leash if Shibozi. There were pricier and more expensive land parcels. They paid for their land, after all. Women who own land are free to use it however they see fit. The ecology depends on the fact that they can rename their plots while burning SHIB tokens, though. And the general public has been eagerly anticipating this functionality. However, the metaverse is still being built, and some rather well-known people are working on it. Although a definite date has not yet been set for the launch of the metaverse, everything else being equal, it seems to be approaching quickly. This season, the metaverse will make its debut in 2023, and with that burning process, it might have a big impact on Toshiba's price rise. Move past it, please. Let's talk about Wellies. Shiba Inu x Wellies announced their collaboration in October 21st. You might remember that in 2022, when it was disclosed that the Shiba community would now receive a share of the profits, a list of amenities for the new neighborhood and Shiba was actually published. One of these is that the Sheepdog Tao will have a big impact on some of its decisions. But the biggest is because the community owns 15% of the Wells Fargo Corporation. The community will determine how to use the entire sum after the share is placed away in a Shiba welfare wallet. We may also talk about the fact that she will be featured in a rack at Milan Fashion Week in September 2022, as well as renowned clothes producer John Richmond. But before we do that, this channel offers a daily raffle for a chance to win 1,000 chips. You only need to like this video, follow the channel, and leave a comment. Good luck, Shabana Shibata 100. A fresh collection, a full-on genre check, and John Richmond myths were all developed with the game, the Junior partnership, and the Wellies collaboration in mind as they walked the runway. She seems to have decided to broaden her company's reach outside of the crypto industry in 2022, although things could alter slightly in 2023. However, this year's 2 key projects place a significant emphasis on the cryptocurrency sector while still continuing these other activities. the Shibarium Shiba in this Layer 2 platform within the Shiba, a new environment, and the metaverse, which we have already mentioned, are the two platforms available at the moment. The project that is most eagerly anticipated is Shibarium. But keep in mind that in 2021 and 2022, the Robinhood listing was something that was almost as predicted earlier in 2022 if you resided in the Shiba Inu community. You may remember the time when SHIB owners used to reply on every tweet about Robinhood on Twitter, and for those who still can't understand why the neighborhood genuinely wanted that listing, the comments were made over when Robinhood Willis SIB due to the fact that Robinhood serves as a trading platform for both common stock and cryptos. It was therefore believed that this listing would make it more widely known. In actuality, the listing happened in April 2022. And as was to be expected, it caused prices to go up overall, not just for SIB but also for Robinhood. This was one of the justifications the locals gave to Robinhood for listing SHIBs because so many SHIB owners rushed to do business with him. It is logical to suppose that a similar development will take place when Shibarium is presented, just as the listing news immediately increased the value of Robinhood. Since there is currently no defined release date, this may be something to expect in 2023. However, the beta testing for Shibarium was previously planned to start in the third quarter of 2022. So it makes perfect sense to plan for a release between 2 and 3, most likely early. Shibarium's debut is soon, according to Shitosi, thus this appears quite likely. The timid stablecoin is another possibility for 2023. There is currently no release date for the stable currency, despite the fact that it has been under development for some time. The development team also stated in 2022 that they were resolved to create something that would withstand pressure and be completely backed since they had learned from the errors of stable coins that had sunk. As a result, 2023 will be the year in which we also see this in the movie. Let's look at what a SHIB will cost in 2023. According to analysts, she might have cut 10 utilities if she hadn't known that 2023 will bring more Shiba new ones. And by the end of 2023, would certainly be close to doing so. Claims from business to community. The metaverse is a massive undertaking, and many companies have already committed money to it. This new concept, according to JP Morgan, a bank that currently has some real estate in the metaverse, could create a $1 trillion market in which Shiba Inus would compete for market share. We anticipate that it will be advantageous for the token. The only thing left in the metaverse is that it seems Shiba, and you may have everything necessary for a huge price increase. If the 11th aquarium launch coincides with the metaverse debut, all we can do is wait and see, I guess. This brings us to the video's end. Please click the like button and don't forget to leave a comment if you enjoyed the video. The YouTube algorithm, in my opinion, is very